Yo, what's good? I'm back for another movie review. Now, this is a very special one because yesterday I got to see Scream, the original 1996 in theaters, and I'm here to make my review for it. Now, Scream is my favorite horror movie franchise, so I've seen all these movies a million times. Same with the original. So I feel like everyone, already knows the story, Ghostface, Sydney, Woodsboro, all of it. It's iconic, bro. It revived the horror genre back in the late 90s. And horror wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for Scream. You feel what I'm saying? And as you know, Scream 7 is coming out in February of next year, and this is just my assumption, but we're most likely going to be getting a trailer November, like mid-November, so like November 13th or November 14th, because that's when The Running Man comes out, and it's under the same studio, Paramount, and they usually show, trailers for new movies depending on which studio it is. So my guess is that we'll get the first official trailer for Scream 7 when The Running Man comes out. So I'll be sure to be seated for that movie on the 13th, and I'm just going to cross my fingers that we get, a sneak peek at a trailer for Scream 7, because regardless of all the controversial shit that's been happening around Scream 7, as a diehard Scream fan, I'm excited, truly. And yeah, sorry, I just ate. But yeah, the original 1996 Scream. Now, first of all, I saw this in Kips Bay because it wasn't in my main two theaters, and it was me and my mom. We were sitting quite literally in the first row, and it was rough. I'm not gonna lie. We were breaking our necks a little bit. I had to put the seat all the way back, which I normally don't do. But eventually I got accustomed to it, and it was like kind of funny to see it up close and personal like that. It looked great. The sound was like I was hearing things that I haven't heard before, because I usually watch it on my phone or my TV, and I have it all on Blu-ray. So, but there were sounds that I was picking up on, like little details that really elevated the experience, and really goes to show how much time and effort they put into Wes Craven, rest in peace. He put into this movie, and yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible. I put on my Scream hoodie. I made a TikTok about it. If you guys want to go check that out, the link will be in the description below, as well as the link to my Instagram. So, follow me there, because I will be posting TikTok every day till the end of this year. So, word. But yeah, Scream. As you know the story. I guess we could start off with the opening. Casey Becker, getting just wrecked by Ghostface. The opening scene for the original Scream it's like, how do I word this? It's iconic. It's a staple in horror. It's one of the best opening scenes to any horror film, point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? Drew Barrymore being the star that she was, being killed off in the first 10 minutes. That was a big shock for people back then. So everything about the opening is just perfect. The conversation, the memes, from the Scary Movie that translated over and shit. It's perfect. It's perfect. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I wish, though? I wish that for this re-release they would have did the uncensored version of Scream, where it's just a little more, you see a little more, specifically towards the end of the movie where Billy's stabbing Stu and shit. I will always be upset at the people, the MPA, that do that shit. Who are you to tell me when something is too much? Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I don't like censorship. I want to see a movie in its pure, authentic form. Word. But yeah, man. We get into it. You know, Sydney, our main character, she's coming back for Scream 7. Every performance in this movie was incredible. Honestly, I feel like the standout for me this time around watching the movie, low key, was Tatum. Now obviously Tatum, she's iconic. You know, she has an iconic line that's very popular on TikTok. No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel. You know, and she honestly she has the best kill in the original Scream with the garage door and shit. But yeah, she was a standout for me this time around. You know, I've always liked Tatum. You know, and I'm pretty sure Sydney named one of her daughters after Tatum. So, we'll see when Scream 7 rolls around. But yeah, Tatum really stood out for me this time around. She was really good. And, that just makes her death even greater. You feel what I'm saying? I also really liked Kenny. Kenny has always been consistently great. He's a good dude, Gil's cameraman. Sucks that he went out the way he did, but another really good kill, with the 30-second delay. I've had people when it came to like Principal Himbry's scenes, like people were laughing a lot at his shit. So that was cool. Especially that when Wes Craven did that little cameo, he dressed up as Freddy, and Principal Himbry was like, "Not you, Fred." But yeah, honestly, it's incredible. The original Scream. It's my favorite horror movie. You feel what I'm saying? What do I want to talk about? Because everyone's seen this movie already, so let's see. Billy. I want to talk about Billy a little bit. I feel like, him being the killer is very predictable, but I feel like it works for this movie because of the meta-ness of it, So it would only make sense for him to actually be the killer. So I think that was, like, at first I'm like, wow, this like, when the first few times that I watched it as a kid, I'm like, this dude is so obviously the killer. This is stupid. This isn't a good mystery. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that that's kind of the point. Like, he's suspicious throughout the whole fucking thing. And it's like, it's obviously him. But then they try to throw you off a bit with the, meta-ness, the jokes here and there. It wasn't him that made that phone call. The fake out death. Only for it to actually be him. I feel like that works perfectly with the meta-ness of Scream. You feel what I'm saying? And let's see. I guess we could talk about people that are returning. Let's talk about Stu. He's making his return for Scream 7. He's dead, though. He's dead. I don't want to hear any of you fucking Stu fans in the comments talking about, oh, Stu's alive, Stu's alive. He's dead. Listen, bro. My theory for Scream 7 is that they're going to be using AI. You feel me? They're going to be going down a Scream 3 route with that, bum-ass voice changer. But instead of the voice changer that makes your voice identical to other people's, it's AI using people. So I'm pretty sure, like, also Dewey's coming back. So Stu, Dewey, Roman, they're all going to be used, like, they're coming back as them, but they're going to be AI to probably, like, fuck with Sydney, some shit like that. My theory is the killer's probably Leslie Mocker, who's Stu Mocker's sister. That's just my theory. And it's probably Anna Camp. But, we're just going to have to wait and see. You feel what I'm saying? But, yeah, Stu's dead. He's dead. But he was great in the original, which, I get why people want him to, be alive. His character is very, very wacky, very funny, and overall, Stu's an iconic character. But, what makes him iconic is I feel like his death, adds to that iconicness. And the fact that he's only in one Scream movie. Same with Tatum. Like, in my head, I'm like, all right, I know she's going to fucking die eventually. But, like, as I was watching it on the big screen, I'm like, wow, Tatum's a really good character. I'm really enjoying her performance. Rose McGowan as Tatum. And same goes for Stu. And Skeet Ulrich as Billy. To know that, well, Billy comes back, in Scream 5 and Scream 6 as, like, hallucinations in Sam's head. But, knowing that they only had this one performance and that they're so iconic after all these years goes to it makes a stronger point and a stronger impact. It's the same thing with Randy. People hate that he died in Scream 2. Even I hated it at one point. But it's important, you know? It leaves a mark, it leaves an impact, and now Randy's one of the most talked about characters in horror history. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like that wouldn't be the case if he survived that movie. And it's the same thing with Dewey. You know, I hate that they killed him off in Scream 5 or, you know, just Scream 2022. But again, people are going to be talking about that for years to come, you know, because Dewey was such a important pivotal role in this franchise. And, you know, I loved his performance in the original Scream. You know, people were laughing at everything he was saying, doing, you know, the whole ice cream shit when the sheriff was, you know, taking a puff of the ciggy. He was taking a lick of the strawberry ice cream he had. You know, it's iconic. You know, this franchise, the reason why Scream is so good is because of its characters, bro. It's like, obviously people love Ghostface. You know, he's a force of nature. He's fucking incredible. And Roger L. Jackson, I couldn't have pictured anyone else playing Ghost or voicing Ghostface other than him, bro. He adds so much pizzazz to a otherwise bland, masked killer. You feel what I'm saying? The reason why so many of these, like, random Scream wannabe, why they don't work is because they don't have an iconic voice and an iconic presence behind their killer like Roger L. Jackson brings to Ghostface. You feel what I'm saying? And I can't wait for his performance in 7. I'm pretty sure he's going to knock it out of the park. Yeah. But, yeah, man, it's like the characters are incredible. Like, it makes you attached to them. So when they eventually do die, it's like, fuck. Yeah. You know, it's like, ugh. You know? It hits close to home. You feel what I'm saying? And the original Scream doesn't have that many kills. Only 7 people die. 2 of those being the killers, and then 2 of the first ones being the opening kill. So basically in the middle, we only have 3 people that die. Principal Hembry, Tatum, and Kenny. And that's like, Tatum and Kenny are like at the end of, you know, when the party happens. You feel me? So the fact that this movie is so entertaining and it holds up, like, I could, to be honest, you know, people say the first Scream is perfect. You know, I wouldn't go that far. You feel what I'm saying? It's a really good movie. Like, I could nitpick the shit out of it if I wanted to, but why would I? You feel what I'm saying? It's an incredible movie, and it just changed the genre, and that's why I love it. Like, these movies aren't perfect. There's a lot of inconsistencies. There's a lot of things that if I wanted to, I could break down all these movies and say why it's, you know, certain things don't work. But at the end of the day, I feel like Scream has an entertainment factor to it. Like, all 6 movies, and people have been shitting on 5 and 6. I love 5 and 6. Scream, every single Scream movie is entertaining. And I feel like that's what people are forgetting. These movies are some of the most entertaining slashers ever. Like, I could put them on at any point in the movie and be locked in. I could watch any one in any order and be locked in. These movies are just entertaining, and that's what some of these franchises don't have. Like, Scream has an entertainment factor about it that can't be replicated, and it's just special. It's magical. You feel what I'm saying? I know this is sounding like I'm just glazing like crazy, but, you know, this is my favorite franchise, so I gotta stand on that shit, you know? But, yeah, man, the original Scream, it's incredible. I had a great time. I know I wasn't, this isn't really a review, it's just kind of me, you know, fanboying over the franchise in general. But, you know, it's just that good. It's just that good. So, yeah, man, that's it. This has been my review for Scream. Basically, my me fanboying over the franchise, my favorite horror movie franchise. Today I am seeing 2 new movies, having another double feature today. And I'll be posting those videos, one tomorrow and then the other one the day after that. So what's today? Today's Thursday, right? So I'll post a review Friday and Saturday. Word. But yeah, man, that's it. This has been my review for Scream 1996. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Very excited for Scream 7. Word. I'm the Hero Light Legend, Tyree Figueroa, signing out. Peace.